Joy. So
Okay.
welcome members of the Chief Officer Appointments Committee, and thank you very much, Joy, who's clerk to the committee, and welcome to any Newham residents that are watching this session via YouTube. We are meeting this morning to determine a subcommittee pertaining to the pertaining to an appointment process that we're going to be undertaking, and the purpose and requirement for us as members of the Chief Appointment Committee is to ensure that we've got the appropriate subcommittee for the recruitment process that will be underway for education, inclusion and achievement. And we need to establish 2 subcommittees in addition for roles within adults and health, which are principally Director of Quality Assurance, Safeguarding and Workforce Development, and the Director of Improvement, Change and Control. And then what we'll need to do across those 3 subcommittees that we've got to establish is to determine the size and also the membership. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was clear relating to what we needed to do, and I should formally commence with the agenda items if that's okay with everyone else. But before I do that, I just want to make sure that there aren't any particular questions. Does anyone have any questions? Members of panel? Right, cool. Thank you very much. And apologies for absence, Joy.
Chair, we've not received any actual apologies for absence, but obviously other members aren't here.
Okay, fine. And then I just want to direct colleagues to the agenda item 2, which is declarations of interest. And I wanted to ask, in relation to matters that we're going to be determining today, namely the establishment of 3 subcommittees that I outlined, whether any of the members, including myself, need to declare an interest for either, for matters that we're going to be discussing. I just want to confirm that I don't have any declarations of interest. Can I ask?
None from me either. So.
Thank you. Charlene?
No, nothing to declare on this one.
And John Gray?
Nothing to declare.
Okay, super. Now, we're gonna be now moving to the substantive item agenda, which is, or agenda item even. Right, so we've got 3 subcommittees to appoint. The first one is education related, and that's the Director of Education, Inclusion and Achievement. So before we commence, I just need some guidance from the committee clerk and also our colleague from Caroline. There you are. I can just see you. Hi. I can see your top face. There you go. I can see more of you. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi.
Just some quick guidance in terms of the actual role. Could you just set that out, and then maybe this is more of a question for clerk to the committee. When we begin to determine the size and the membership, can we do that in private session? Because it's you know, we would need to be mindful of names that we're discussing in case anything is misinterpreted, and then we can come back to advise on deliberations of the Chief Officer Appointments Committee.
You can. Is it because you don't want to sort of name specific people in case they're watching or something like that?
No, it's just because I think we'll need to just have a discussion as to who, you know, recommendations, consideration as to strengths, weaknesses, what the appointment panel skill set is required. And I'm not sure if we're setting out kind of the panel appointments kind of skill set requirement and then are kind of considering members. I'm just not sure if that would be appropriate.
Right, okay. Well then, yeah, you could. I mean, on the grounds really that it's about sort of revealing information about an individual, even though it is a counsellor, it's about you're looking at sort of stuff that maybe, you might be debating about their own skill sets, which maybe, as you say, isn't entirely appropriate to be aired in public. So yes, you can. So what we'd then have to do is we'd have to take things off of that would have to sorry, can you just bear with me about? I'm just reading a message from Adrian. Right, okay, then that's fine. We've got so what Adrian's just advised me is that we've got a slide that we can put up on the YouTube to say that you're going into private session, okay, and so that they'll know, and then we can hold on, because it's come to me. So once we've got that slide, we can put that up, and then you can go into private session. So what will appear on YouTube is that slide, and then what I'll have to do is I'll have to put you all into a breakout room, okay, and then you can go into the room and make your decision, and
I'm just also okay, thank you. I think we've got the gist of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just, for the purposes of clarifying to members of this chief appointments panel, so with the first subcommittee that we've got to finalise, that was a subcommittee that we had considered and we had determined at a previous meeting, and at the time we had determined that the membership of the subcommittee for the Director of Education, Inclusion and Achievement was to be as follows: myself as the mayor and chair of that subcommittee, the then cabinet lead for education, which was Councillor Julianne Marriott at the time, but obviously she's now stepped down as both a cabinet member because she stepped down as a councillor. Councillor Jane Lofthouse, Councillor Stephen Brayshaw, because of his role as a Commissioner for Skills. And sorry, let me just remind the rationality for these members of this subcommittee. So there was myself, chair of the subcommittee. There was Councillor Julianne Marriott, who at the time was a councillor because of her cabinet lead role as portfolio lead for education. The deputy cabinet member for education, Jane Lofthouse. There was then proposed and agreed Stephen Brayshaw, because he's Commissioner for Skills and it's relevant to the appointment, the position that's been appointed to. Councillor Carleen Lee Parkway, she's a deputy cabinet member for children's services, and it has a relevancy in relation to the role being appointed for. And then Councillor Anthony McColmont, because he's the scrutiny chair that looks at education, as well as being chair of Ovarian Scrutiny and Children's Services. And then Councillor Rohit Dasgupta, because he is a Commissioner for Social Integration, and that's relevant to the role. So for the purposes of this subcommittee, colleagues, and this, I'm directing this to member colleagues, I would suggest the membership of that subcommittee remains perfectly legitimate and balanced and fine, in line with previous deliberations. The only replacement being the replacement for the cabinet member who no longer is here as a councillor, Julianne Marriott, and that is a simple replacement with Councillor Zulfikar Ali. And if you're all okay with that, I suggest that we conclude that part and then go into private session for the other two subcommittees we have to establish. Does that make sense?
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So is that okay, Joy? Have I made myself clear?
Yes,
I've been very long.
Yes, that's fine. No worries. Okay, so okay, no worries. Right, okay, what we're going to do is
Before
we will
you
now
switch, sorry,
okay,
Joy,
yeah, no, go on.
sorry
Sorry.
for interrupting. Before you switch us off, I wanted to ask Caroline, could you just quickly, whilst we're in public transmission mode, oh look, there's your cat, Sarah.
I know.
Could you just quickly give us a run through in terms of the additional officer positions that we are going to be constructing a subcommittee for, of the health ones? So could you give a brief overview of what the roles and functions are?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So for the quality director of quality assurance safeguarding workforce, that director will have a portfolio that is quality assurance for adult social care, contract management, so all contracts within adult social care, the governance supporting safeguarding, so that will include the safeguarding leads, investigating safeguarding cases, and workforce development, so that will also include the professional lead for the social work and across both adults and mental health services, and the social work and what's known as social work and social work commission services. So it has a fairly wide portfolio, and at the moment there is an interim in place, and that's a portfolio for that role. Shall I go on to the other role, Mayor?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so for the Director of Improvement, Change and Control, so that officer will have responsibility for business systems within social care, brokerage and transactions services, so direct payments, business intelligence, performance improvement for adult social care, and cost control. So the whole sort of portfolio of the not quite the back office, but it is a portfolio around improvement and performance and information systems.
Okay, fine. And then just by way of clarifying a couple of other things, with regards to the appointment of the subcommittee for those two posts, there's a minimum of 3. Whilst I'm a standing member of every subcommittee, I can nominate someone the position of chair and delegate that role. The other thing I wanted to clarify, for both, because I'm conscious that they're health and adult social care roles, and we have a significant depth of relationship with our local health partners, primarily the Newham CCG, and would it be permissible on that subcommittee to have a member from one of those partner organisations? I'm thinking, for example, my co-chair of the Health and Wellbeing Board is Dr. Mohammed Nakvi, and he's a local GP and chair of the Newham CCG, and I would have thought that there may be a utility and usefulness, given that partnership and collaboration, for us to include him on the appointment panel, time permitting. And similarly, we place a big onus on democratic accountability, and there's the body that represents sort of the patient experience across social care and health, and whether or not a representative from that body, it's called the Newham, oh God, I've just lost it. Sarah, help me out here, member of Health and Wellbeing Board.
Do you mean Health Watch?
That's it, Newham Health Watch. So can you just advise if non-member members can be appointed onto the subcommittee?
I may have to defer to Joy, just in terms of the process on co-opting. I understand that there is a facility to co-opt somebody onto that panel, as long as the quora is still remaining the quora, because the appointment will be the council appointment.
Yes.
So, but
Yes, sorry to interrupt. Yes, that's correct. So yeah, you can have them on. You can certainly have them on, and there'd be kind of advisors observe, to advise you. And they won't actually be the people that will make the decision as such as to which of them you appoint, but they can be there to advise and sort of give you some guidance. So
yeah, because with both of these roles, adults and social care and health, additionally, issues of quality assurance safeguarding will be pertinent to the chair for the purposes of inviting the chair of the adult safeguarding board to be part of that subcommittee. I think it would be very important. Okay, fine. So as long as that's clear. And then what else? Oh, one final thing, Joy, before we go into private session to consider and determine membership of final subcommittees. On the subcommittee that we've confirmed for the Director of Education, Inclusion and Achievement. So you've got the principal members of that subcommittee, but remember we had reserve members that we had confirmed at the last meeting of the Chief Appointments Committee. And if you could kindly advise who those are, and I would recommend that the rest of the committee members just endorse that they remain as reserves.
Okay, can you bear with me 2 minutes and I shall let you know who they were. Hold on a moment.
Thank you.
Yes, Chair, you had one substitute member, which was Councillor Jen Kitchen.
Cool. Members of committee, are you happy with her remaining as a reserve member of the Director of Education Inclusion? Yep, great. Okay, so can that be noted formally?
It will be,
And
yes.
now we're going to go into private session. I know, colleagues, that we had half an hour allocated for this meeting. I suspect that we may be slightly over 12 minutes, but let's try.
It was an hour in my diary.
Oh, is it an hour in your diary? It's half an hour in mine. Oh gosh, right, hang on, let me just double check. Oh, right, okay, yes, it's an hour in mine, sorry. There was me hoping. No, I'm really kidding. Okay, thank you very much, Joy and Caroline, and we'll drop you an email to let you know when we've concluded our deliberations. Okay, thank you.
Very much. Bye.
Bye.
Chair, just to be on the same side, I think you're all going to be put into a room now.
Okay.
And then obviously you know that you'll have to come back out of exempt session to let us formally know in public what the decision is that you've made. Okay, so I think I need to get Adrian to take me out of this room now. I'm assuming you don't want
no,
me
if we
in
go
either.
into, I think if we go into the breakout room, you don't need to leave, and then he'll put on.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me just check with Adrian because while he's on the
Yeah,
line.
that's correct. Everyone should join the breakout room apart from yourself, Joy.
Right. Okay. So I can't put people into the breakout room now, Adrian.
No, we can do it. Yeah, we've got a little.
Got the messages up.
All right. So I think we are. So are we all in the breakout room now, Adrian? Sorry.
No, Joy. You're in the main room.
Okay.
So the mayor. Yeah.
Joy, you're on mute. Hi there. Thank you very much, colleagues, for those deliberations, and welcome back to members of the public and Newham residents that are watching. I'm just waiting to be advised that the committee to the, clerk to the committee is here alongside Caroline Block from Newham HR. Can you indicate that you're here?
I am, Chair. I just redo my photo. That's it. Start my video. That will help. I'll find Caroline and let me see where she is. Hold on.
Yeah, I think you may need to invite her back in.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm trying to make Charlene laugh.
Yeah, I'm just going to mute myself because if need be, I might need to give her a call. I won't be a moment.
Thank you for your patience, members of the public and in residents watching. Oh, and also, obviously, members of the committee. You're on mute, Sarah.
Caroline's just about to join us.
Okay, super, great. Okay, so drum roll. Hi, Caroline, how are you doing? Good. Right, so just to advise, following deliberations, we are able to update on the subcommittee membership as follows. So for the first subcommittee, and this is the subcommittee pertaining to the Director of Quality Assurance, Safeguarding and Workforce Development. The membership is as follows. Councillor Zulfikar Ali, who I will delegate the role of chair for this subcommittee. Councillor Feroza Nikawala, Councillor Sarah Ruiz, Councillor Terry Paul, and Councillor Aisha Chowdhury. And the reason being, for clarity and transparency, Councillor Zulfikar Ali is the Cabinet Lead for Health and Adult Social Care. Councillor Feroza Nikawala is his deputy. Councillor Sarah Ruiz is the Cabinet Lead for Children and Young People, but there's a very important transitional from young person to adult process that needs to be integrated well as part of the two service areas between children, young people services and adult social care. Councillor Terry Paul, in light of the workforce development component of this role, and Councillor Terry Paul as a Cabinet Member for Finance and Resources, also has under his portfolio human resources matters, and member oversight of the council. And then Councillor Aisha Chowdhury, because she is the Chair of Scrutiny for Health, and it's appropriate and right that she's involved in this process. In terms of the reserve member for this committee, it will be Maniba Khan. And then in addition, we intend to have two additional non-councillor members who would contribute to the panel interviews and will give thoughts and be part of the interviewing of candidates, but they won't be determining the final result. Would be Fran Pearson, and she's the independent chair of Newham's Adult Safeguarding Board. And then a chap, Dr. Chetan, that's Chetan, and surname is Vyas, Vyas, and he is the Adult Safeguarding Lead for the Newham CCG. So that's one committee concluded. Let me know when you'd like me to proceed on the next one.
Yeah, that's fine, Chair. I've got all that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So the second subcommittee relates to the Director of Improvement, Change and Control within Adult Social Care Service Directorate. And the following subcommittee membership has been determined, and I'll also advise as to the reasons why as I say their names. So there will be Councillor Zulfikar Ali, and similarly, in light of his role as the Cabinet Lead for Health and Adult Social Care, I will be delegating the chair role of this subcommittee to him. In addition, his deputy, Councillor Feroza Nikawala. There will also be Councillor Susan Masters, who is involved in overview and scrutiny and has a real interest in health and adult social care matters. And there is also Councillor Winston Vaughan, who similarly is involved in health-related scrutiny and is also the LBN representative for the joint North East London health scrutiny. And then finally, in terms of councillor membership, Councillor Hanif Abdul Muhit, because he has an interest in matters pertaining to health generally, and we're very keen to ensure that frontline councillors in wards are given opportunities around these types of recruitment processes. And then the reserve member would be Councillor Tamina Rahman. And then in addition, we are wanting to invite, as members of the interview panel, Selina Douglas, who is the Executive Director of the Newham, Waltham Forest and Tower Hamlets CCG, and then an additional independent, non-councillor member, Leonardo Greco. Let me spell that, Greco, and he is a officer at Newham Health Watch and is a member of the Health and Wellbeing Board. So, is that fine, Joy?
Yes. Yeah, that's fine. I've got all that. Thank you.
Brilliant. So we've now concluded business. Thank you very much, colleagues, for all of your input and all of your support. And I am going to formally conclude the meeting and finally thank all of those members of the public, Newham residents, for watching this session